Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Saaghe Fogwe Podcast. Today is going to be an amazing conversation. Like every other show, this one is super special because I have someone very special who is going to grace this stage or screen, your whatever you're watching on. She's going to bring some fire to the house today. The topic we're visiting today is passion and purpose. It's kind of been a theme over several segments because we're gradually figuring out that we have some passions that we can turn into purpose. And this young lady is a nurse, but now she's an author and one that has brought some topic that we kind of shy away from, but we need to really listen to her today to see how we want to change the dynamic of our life this year and the years to come. So I'm not going to talk too much and steal the thunder from her. So I'm going to bring her to the stage. Welcome, my little sister, my little brother's wife, Mrs. Lutherlyn Fosah. Welcome, girl.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
So happy to have you today. I know we planned it over just a few weeks and it happened. We just talked
Yes,
about it, and you're my kind of girl. When I say jump, you say how high, right?
that's it. That's how we do in 2024.
No procrastination, no
No,
hesitation, no, we don't want to we don't we, you don't want to miss a beat, because once you miss a
no.
beat, it's over. So before
Yes.
you even introduce yourself, let me share the link with you. So I know
Okay.
people are waiting. I know your people have been waiting anxiously. So I'm going to send it your way,
Okay.
and we'll do a couple of shares here, that way
Are
we
you
can go
streaming live
live.
on Facebook?
We should be, yes, I should be.
Okay.
Then maybe
I can
just
share
share from
from there.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see it on Facebook?
Let me go to your profile. Not yet. Is it on Toridi or yours?
It should be on Toride.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Mm,
If not, I just posted it on my wall as well. Just so
okay. Then I
you
can share from
yeah,
there.
it is okay. It is. I'm live on my page. So
Okay, I
okay.
see now.
All right, guys, we'll go right into it. A couple of shares here. I'll let us share with a couple of people, and then we're gonna go into it, so we don't keep people waiting, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right, just one more, and then we are good to go. Yeah, it's slow, guys. It's gonna be a good one, so don't miss out on this show. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you know when we go live. Okay, there we are. All right,
Okay.
do it. All right, so Lulu, like I call her,
Yes, ma'am.
people want to know who you are, who this person is, this new author. So introduce yourself to the audience, to our viewers. Go ahead and tell us your name, where you come from, your background, family, education, anything, any fun facts that we need to know, so we can read.
Okay. So thank you, first of all. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure not just to have anyone take interest in anything that I do, to want to have a conversation with me. So I am always very grateful. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. One of those people that I look up to. And thank you for all you do to inspire and to bring knowledge to our community and to people around us. Um, so my name is Lutherlyn Fosah. Everybody calls me Lulu. I've been called by that from a very young age. And I am a mom. I'm first of all a wife. I'm a mom and of three school age kids, two boys and a girl. And I am a nurse by profession. I am an entrepreneur by heart. I am a woman's woman. I am a girl's girl. So I am very passionate about uh, the affairs of women and the young girls, and very passionate about mentoring and coaching and empowering and uplifting women into who they have been called to become. And I'm an author, a new author. I have a new book called Break Forth that is going around, and it's a new sensation or a new talk around our community. And I'm happy about that. For hobbies, I love to work out because that is where I get connected to me. I get connected to my inner person. I get, the good energy, and I get just be grounded and, you know, receive the good energy and take out the bad energy. And I am a crown queen of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I am God's. I I I was when it comes I am continually seeking God, but I love the Lord. I love the things of the Lord. I'm a Christian at heart. I'm a Christian by birth, and I will die a Christian.
Mhm. That's amazing, and
Thank you.
and you see it in your book because I haven't finished it, my confession, but I've read most of the book already. I couldn't put it down, and you
Oh,
see the theme, you see it throughout the book, and you're gonna go into the depths of it here, and we'll kind of lead up to that a little bit. But being a bold Christian is not something that people do. People are closet Christians. You're Christian sometimes and not all the time. And when somebody can boldly say that I love the Lord, it's amazing. And all the things that you talked about, you and I have not really talked deeply about some of your passions, but that's what this platform is about: uplifting people, empowering people, helping people get to where they want to get to the next level. I'm not one of those people who wants to wait till I get somewhere to get people to go. So no, I want to do it with the community, and
yes,
that's why when I just see a little bit of that in somebody, I want to bring them here to come and share it. I'm not popular. I don't have many followers because some people will ask you how many followers do you have before they want to come on your platform. I'm I'm just doing what I can, the little that yeah, I'm just doing the little that I can right now with what I have. And just so that if God takes me away today or tomorrow, I've done my little part, and that's
yes,
why that's just putting it out there why this platform exists. It's not about me, it's about the community. So
yes.
let's go back a little bit. Education. So back, you didn't say where you came from, so I'm
Oh, yes.
assuming you're from Cameroon.
I am. Yes. Sorry about that. That's a big uh, jump there. I am originally from West Africa, Cameroon, from Bamenda to be specific, where I grew up and attended a majority of my education. But I now reside here in the United States. We're looking for greener pastures and now with my family and every other person.
And you went to PSS Mancon
Yes, I went to PSS Mancom for 7 years.
for 7 years. So
So
you're a true PSS Mancon.
I
So
am a
PSS
true
Mancon, for those
connection.
non-Cameroonians, is the Presbyterian Secondary School Mancon in Bamenda. It's
Yes,
one of those schools. And if you've been watching my shows, many of the guests have some connection to that school. So because
yes,
when you go to school, the relationships that you build, they start from way back when. If you notice, like the long term relationships. Personally, there are people who I went to
yes,
secondary school with, because you build some relationships along the way that they don't go anywhere. You have those friends that you can call them at 2 in the morning, and they pick up the phone without grumbling and rolling their eyes at you.
yeah,
Just because you want to talk or because you want to start go down memory lane. So so she went to that school as well.
yeah,
Just had to point
yeah,
that out. Yeah.
yeah. I'm blessed to have had parents that were, and I'm sure you are too, that with the little they had, they were very vested in our education. to put us in schools like that where we learn so much. So it is a blessing. I'm so thankful for that.
So talk about some of the things from boarding school. Let's even go way back then. That some principles, some disciplinary things that happened back then that kind of still resonate with you today, that mold you into who you are today. Talk about some of those things.
Oh, thank you. You know what? That's interesting because I've never really thought about it like that. But I would say that a lot of the things that the deep core values of me is the molding that I got back in PSS or in secondary school. A lot of us, but I'll speak for me, right? And one of those things is learning to be organized. Organized, being your own a chaperone, your own that person. I don't need people to fan my flames. Uh, I need them, but I don't, because I had to learn in PSS to be at the right time. And that was a slogan: be at the right
Right
time,
place at
at
the
the
right
right
time.
place, doing the right thing with
Mhm.
the right people.
Exactly.
If you look at it, that's the journey of life. We, at that point, we didn't look at it as anything, right? We didn't know, we didn't take any value into what was being said. But right now, that's what we're striving to do. That's what we're still doing, being at the right place at the right time with the right people, doing the right thing. Anything out of that was punishment,
Yep.
right?
Punishment
Because
on Saturday.
on Saturday. So I learned the value of being organized, being doing the right thing at the right time. The right people is what I call today my tribe. Who is in your tribe? Something I've talked about so many times, and I still talk about. Who do we keep around us because they make us or break us? And also having that relationship with God. I think
Yes.
that's one of the things that we learn, that I learned from a boarding school, from a Christian boarding school, was knowing that Christianity was one of the core of my being. I had to learn how to pray or go to church every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I miss church, I feel like I have missed till date. I feel like I have missed something. Like there's something that week doesn't feel like a good, like it feels like something has been taken out from that week.
Mm-hmm.
I know now not to be religious, to know that, but then it's just one of those things. So and also just being independent. I
Yes.
learned to be independent we all learn to be independent at a young age. Be it making up your bed,
Mm-hmm.
making sure
Being
you
up
have
at
food,
5:30 in the
being
morning.
up at 5:30 in the morning. Your bed I was just talking about inspection with I think one of my sisters the other day were talking about how during inspection your bed had to be like this, immaculate white, prepware has to be straight, like just all those things, right?
Mhm.
Some days I wish I could just spend maybe 2 weeks or a month in boarding school just to, we need
To
some
revisit.
rewiring sometimes. Yeah.
Mhm.
But those are some of the things that I learned. Discipline, the power of discipline. Discipline, not because somebody's watching you,
Mhm.
but discipline to stop.
Yeah.
That was taught to me in a very young age.
And it goes a long way because you see, like you said, it's with you. You don't
Yes.
Nobody has to remind you. Your timeliness, being on time is important. When you're on
Yes.
time, it means you're late. So that goes through, and you as a nurse, that's
Mhm.
something that I'm sure that discipline carried on to you being in that profession as as a nurse. So talk to me about, where did becoming an author come from? You're still practicing as a nurse, correct?
I do. I do part time
Yes.
now. Yeah, I do.
Yes. So part-time, and then we're going into this whole new world of being an author.
Yes.
How did that topic come about? How did it even come about, you thinking about writing a book?
So that's an interesting question, and I think it doesn't even have anything to do with, because those are two unrelated topics, right? Two unrelated careers, but everyone is born with something, a unique identifier, whatever it is, and no matter what path you take, be it for fulfillment or be it for a career just because maybe to put food on your table, there is still something in you. That thing, it's either aligned to your career or it might be aligned to some other thing, right? And to me, being an author is not something I just woke up and became. I said I wanted to become an author. That was not it. I think it is part of the journey that I have been taking to self-discovery, that I've been taking to become a better person for myself. And then eventually I became a voice to some other women because they saw some qualities in me because of what I've been able to do in this from for my own self, and empowering and speaking and doing all this coaching, mentoring. And the author just came out of that place. It was something, it was the next step,
Mm-hmm.
right? It was the
Yeah.
next step. But I know that, and I was talking to my husband the other day, I was telling him how I remember when I was in PSS, and even after I was, because I have one of my sons, he reads anywhere, everywhere, anyhow. Like he he has this thick book that he's testing on from school, and he's always reading. And he was eating his cereal for bed, and he was having that book, and his dad was like, "Can you eat and not, you know?" And it just took me back.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember how I used to love reading. Even when I was in PSS, I'll hide books that are not class related. When the teacher is there, and I'll be trying. I hope my teachers are not well. I turned out
Well,
good,
you're
right?
grown now. You're grown
Yeah,
now. They can't do anything to you.
they can't do anything. Yeah, I mean, they'll be like, "I'm glad you turned out good," but I used to that. I'll be like that. Or even when I remember, even back home, when my mom would take us during the holidays, we'll go to the farm. I would sneak a book in the
To
farm.
the farm.
Yes, my sisters will tell you how, where if I hear my mom coming, I'll take a leaf, I'll wrap it and put it under the ground. But that's how bad it was. I used to read, and I'll write little things. I used to write. I pretended to be an author when I was young. I'll write. I'm like I'm writing because I was reading. I was like, okay, let me try to write my own stories. I had these little books that I was writing, but never published because, like,
Yeah.
what was that? Was that a thing? So, but like I said, it's just when you start doing something and start going and start learning all these things and start having speaking engagements and all these things, and then now I was like, it's time for me to put some of these lessons in something. Like
Mhm.
I think when I was in Tori D the other day, one thing I said is, all these clips are great, all these things we're doing are great, but we need to start writing our own
Yep.
stories,
Yep.
because these books will always be on the shelf somewhere.
Yes.
Your daughter or your son or your granddaughter or great grand can pick it up someday and say, hey, this was written by my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And they will never be erased from the face of this earth. They'll always be there. And when I look back, we have great, really good leaders or that have gone ahead of us. They
Mm-hmm.
have already transitioned into their journey into glory, right? But a
Yes.
lot of them, we don't even have their books on shelves. We don't have books that they ever wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of the history is history, that things that other people have written about them.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Not their
not
own
what
words.
it's
Yeah,
not
not
their
their own
own
words.
words or their
Yeah.
own lesson. So we're just, if we continue like that, that's the same way we're going to continue. So to cut the long whatever, the gist is, I was just trying to say, it's just a part of where I was coming from, where this journey that I've been taking. I'm like, okay, I think it's time to pen some of these lessons, put them, so that other people can read it all
Mhm.
around the world. Other women can have it. Even girls, because this book is not actually just for women. I have 15-year-olds that their moms have bought this book for them because they read it. They're like,
Mhm.
Lulu, I think my daughter can read this. So that's why I wrote the book.
Yeah, and and it's really simple. You broke it down. You didn't make it too high level where someone will, like you said, a young girl can read it. Because if you're trying to talk about people breaking forth, they have to start early. You don't want to wait
Ex-
till you're 48 to
exactly.
break forth. You want to wait. You want to start planting the seed
By the way, you
sooner.
look really great.
Oh,
So, yes,
well, thank you. I'm trying to keep
yes.
up with my younger sisters here, so I'm not left behind.
Uh,
So
I
you
know,
don't want
so
to
you
wait
can't keep
till,
up with some. You can't keep up with some kids.
countdown to
Sorry.
50. The countdown to 50. So that when y'all are breaking it down, I'm not left behind, right?
Yes, awesome.
Yeah, so talk about the topic. Why break forth? How did the topic specifically, why
So,
did you choose that?
uh, thank you for that question, sis. Breakforth, why that topic? That topic was, interestingly, at the beginning of this year, I wrote a book without knowing I was writing a prophetic book. When I say prophetic, it's not like I'm not a prophet. Well, if you listen to God, you talk with God, you're a prophet. You can become well, whatever. But the reason I wrote that the title was because a lot of us as women, right? We are so in a box. We carry every other person, every other thing, every other responsibility, and the one thing that we're not fostering, that we're not nurturing, that we're not engaging is our own self and what God has called us to become. So we keep track with family, with spouses, with jobs, with all these other things, friends, social relationships, spiritual relationships. But the one thing that we don't cater for is ourselves, is our own needs, is our own dreams, is our own callings, right? So the reason I chose that title, in actual fact, when I was writing, I didn't have the title Breakforth. I had it in the middle because I felt like it was a calling for us to free, break free from the limitations, break free from the barriers, break forth from all the narrative that the world has made us to believe that this is who we're supposed to be in a certain way. You cannot be in this table or on this table or have this seat because your skin doesn't look
A
a
certain
light
way.
skin enough, or your melanin is too dark or it's not too dark, or your teeth are not shade white enough, or all these things, right? So Breakforth was a title that I wanted women to be able to come out from that thing, that mindset, from that limitation, from whatever that has been holding you for so long. So that's why I chose the title Breakforth.
That's amazing. But what about the men now? So we're leaving the men behind. Why women?
I get that
What
question a
about
lot.
our men? What about our men? Are we going to leave our men behind? Do
Well,
they not need to break forth?
so I have men that have actually bought this book and read, a few men, and they were like, it pertains in the same. The ch- I I speak for women. I speak for girls because I can only speak to the degree of what I know and I experience, right? I cannot go to speak about men because I am not a man. I don't wear the pants of a man. I don't have testosterone that the man has, the qualities, all those things that God, when He created man, He gave it to them, right?
Mhm.
I can speak best from experience as a
Mhm.
woman, as a girl, right?
Mhm.
So, but not saying that men cannot get this book or they cannot. The same, the same ideas are in this book. Even though I write my uh for women, mostly can also apply for men.
Mm-hmm.
But men, we need some men to also come out with something for our men, right?
From their
So
experience.
of their own experience. So Tori D, if you're listening, maybe it's your time to break
So
forth and
30-day
start
challenge
channeling
is
this
on.
cause.
The-
Yes, right? Or whoever. But I founded a mentoring program for young girls called Girl Strong. One of the topics I get all the time is, Lulu, how about the boys? I'm like, somebody else needs to do that. A man needs to chaperone that cause
Mhm.
because yes, I have boys, but I cannot do it because a man will understand a boy better than a woman
Mhm.
will understand a boy, because
Mhm.
you have walked as a boy, you know what they go through from the age of 9 or 10 or 11 or
Yeah.
12, you know all those things. Me, I cannot. So I can't chaperone this course. So
But
that just,
also, you have to find your niche, and you found your niche. Your niche is women and girls. So, that
that's my
question, I had
niche.
to ask that question because I'm sure there are people wondering, like, why is she leaving the men out? But I had to. But I
Yes.
see me and you collaborating at some point because my
Yes.
vision has always been to have a youth center. Youth
That's
center,
good.
and it's still in my vision. I'm still trying to picture how God will make it happen to have
Oh,
a
that would
youth
be great.
center. And the reason is because our children, they get bored easily. Back at home, we ran outside. You even miss dinner because you were running outside. You played. You made When you stopped playing, you made up another game so that you could
Yes.
extend the time outside, right?
Oh, yes.
But our
Yes.
kids
Yes.
here are cooped up inside. They get distracted. They get into wrong peer groups. So my vision for it, and I don't care if somebody steals the idea, but it's to have a big youth center where our kids can leave school. If parents don't have an after school program for
That would
them,
be
they
great.
they go to that center, they do their home. There's a section to do their homework, a
Homework and
section
play.
to meditate, a section to play. They can have do games or whatever, and then a library where they can just read. Sit down, you do your homework, and your parents pick you up. It will start off with volunteers, and then eventually we'll build this into something else. And it won't just be for girls; it will be for all the children.
For all the
But at some
children.
point, you and I will collaborate. I can see that happening because I
That
see the
is, let me
vision.
tell you something. That is an amazing idea. And I pray that the good Lord aligns you with the the right people, the resources and everything. Um, I see that that's amazing. Let me tell you how I started Girl Strong. Girl Strong started because I joined one of our community events here, a Christian Business Women Network, and the founder was she used to go to Boys and Girls Club, because that's what you're trying to do, like a Boys and Girls
Mhm.
Club. We call it
Mhm.
here Boys and Girls Club, where it's an after school program to help, to volunteer. And I said, hey, I'll go with you in one of those sessions. And I went there and I saw struggling kids. I saw how home can be a big factor in destabilizing children. I saw
Mhm.
kids there. And that's how I started Girl Strong. So I thought, hey, if we can start mentoring these kids from a young age and empowering them, nurture them, and begin to teach them mindset, in spite of what is going on, in conjunction with their parents, grandparents, or foster parents, whatever they have, a lot of these kids will turn out better. So
Yes.
that's how I started Girl Strong. So do not think that that dream is small. It is needed. It is a necessity.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about what you do with Girl Strong. Uh, is it a camp? Is it just the mentorship from a distance, or do you ever do anything where they get away and go somewhere?
So right now, for what we do with Girl Strong is just mentoring. We do it over Zoom, um, because we're trying to not just reach. We're not trying to a geographical location.
Mhm.
We want even kids back home. I
Okay.
come This is my own way too of giving back to the young girls back home. I come from Africa. I wish I had mentors. I'm sure you do too. We wish we had mentors that were able to speak life into us from a very young age, right? So, um, this program is over Zoom so that even kids, I sometimes will have people and girls from Ivory Coast and they can log on. We don't do anything. Sometimes I have one-on-ones here, but we're trying to make it in such a way, maybe down the road,
Hmm.
have like chapters and all that, but we don't have any like summer. We're partner with other programs to have summer camps
Okay.
to teach our curriculum to the kids in their summer camps and stuff like that. Um, but that's about what we do. We just have different topics that we teach on, and we're always needing volunteers. So if the Lord
Mm-hmm.
lays in your heart, you need to come
Definitely.
teach
Mm.
on a particular topic that you're very good with. You will please don't hesitate. We would love to have
Definitely.
you.
Yeah, and partnering up with other people. We've had people on the show too who have other programs that could, you could take advantage of. So we'll always do that collaboration, and
Yes,
collaboration is very important to make sure that we're networking and reaching out. And I know you do very well with networking. You're always
I'm
attending
trying. I'm
these events.
trying.
Yes, yes, very important. So let's go back to the book. So just I left my copy on the table when I was
I have
leaving. I was
mine here.
gonna, so, but just take us into the book a little bit without giving away the whole book, right? Just take us into the book a little bit.
So
What people can expect from this? Okay,
I actually have my copy here. Hold on. Let me find it.
this is a
Oh,
coffee
sorry.
break for
Already has his
30-day has
copy
his
there.
coffee.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I have
Yeah.
mine
Yeah.
here.
So just take us into the book a little bit. Just a little bit of it, just so that we
So,
have. Yeah.
so like the book, like the title suggests, right? A guide to ignite your purpose and live with passion. This book is like almost like an everyday manual for any woman that picks it up. It is a guide. Is that it's book with tools. Sometimes we attend events, right? Or have a session with somebody, but at the end of the day, we go out feeling empty, feeling like, oh, I've had all these things said to me, but I don't even really have anything, right? But this book, it's so concise and simple that it's something that you can, if you struggle with certain areas of your life, these are tools that can help you not just walk in purpose, but also be very productive in life, right? From here, I'll talk about, like I talk about your tribe, I talk about who you keep around you, how important the quality. It is not the quantity, it's the quality of people, the kind of people that you need to keep around you. What it doesn't mean. A lot of us, we hear about living a life of purpose. Here, I call it LOP. What it is, what is that, what is really a life of purpose? What is it to me, to you, to the reader, as something? It begins to stir up something because a lot of us have things, purpose that will not fulfilled because we don't even know. We
Mm-hmm.
don't even know because we've never really looked at it in that way, right? It's a book that begins to stir up a conversation between you and yourself of the things that you really love, the things that you have given up
Mm-hmm.
because of either one thing, one reason or the other. So it begins to stir up. It talks like I talk about connecting with like-minded people. That's your network. Your network, they say, is your net worth or worth, right? Those
Mm-hmm.
kind of people. How spending time alone. I talk about how important it is to spend time alone.
That's
When
exactly the page I'm on right now. Spending time
already
alone, because people feel
awesome.
like they have to always be in a crowd. Like you should always
No,
be in a crowd. No,
no,
you can spend quality
yes,
time with yourself.
yeah, no. And it's spending time alone is a big thing. And when I say spend time alone, it's not about being on social media, being trying to scroll. It's really sitting down with yourself, with your thoughts, with you, and digging into self to find a self reflection First of all, to love yourself, appreciate yourself for where you're going, and then see what is that thing? What am I supposed to be doing at this stage of my life?
Mhm.
That's when you silence the noise. And spending time alone doesn't, you can even be in a crowd, but you're spending time alone. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean you go sit down in your living room, you close your door, and you spend time alone. That's, you can be at the gym, but you're spending time alone. You can be in church, but you're spending time alone. And then I talk about even self-doubt. A lot of us, especially growing up, I talk about imposter syndrome. How imposter syndrome has fraud us of living a life of purpose. I talk about that. And lack of support. Lack
Mhm.
of support. How lack of support? A lot of us, like I was talking to when I was on Tory D the other day, I talked about how we
Why
view.
you rap that Tori Day so? Say Tori D.
I see
Lulu,
what
you rap Tori Day. Say Tori D. Hey,
call it Tory D for real. I always call it
Tori Day.
Tory
Tori
Day for
Day.
Tory Day. Sorry, I will.
Because they
I,
punished us for speaking pidgin in PSS. That's why she cannot speak pidgin.
No, it's because I always looked at it as Tori D. For some reason, I didn't.
No,
It was
say
the other
Tori
day,
Day. Say
Tori
Tori
Day,
Day.
Tori Day. How I talked on Tori Day the other day. Oh God, Lord help me.
And now I'm
Tori
in your
Day,
head.
forgive me. You know, well, going back to what I was saying, how I talked on Tori Day the other day about how sometimes we spend a lot of time um talking about how this person is not supporting me, this person is not supporting, this one never support, this one not bought. Like I don't spend time complaining like, oh, this one's not bought my book, this one's not bought my book. Instead of looking at the people that have bought your book or have
Yeah.
supported you
Yeah.
and being appreciative and networking with those people and
Mhm.
looking for the next people. We come from a place where we don't look at support in that way. We look at support differently. And
Mhm.
your journey, maybe I'm digressing, but
No,
it's
you're
not,
not. What you're saying is very important. You're not digressing. No.
yeah, your journey is not for everyone. What you're doing, sis, is not for everyone. There's not everyone that is going to go with you. Not everyone is going to be supportive of you. Not everyone. That's when God called you, He didn't call everyone with you. He called you
Mhm.
alone and He's aligned you as you journey. There'll be people, but we should not let that stop us.
Mhm.
Don't let because, oh, family, sometimes your own family will not even share
They're
your
the
stuff.
last people. Your
They'll be the
family is the
last
last. They're
people.
the last people to believe in you because they know you from a different era,
Angle.
and they've seen
Right.
you grow. They've seen you run around naked. Walk.
Right. So that should not deter you, right? So I talk about all these things, building resilience,
Mhm.
discipline, how you can become disciplined. A lot of us are not disciplined. I remember somebody said to me a couple of years ago, maybe two years, she was like, Lulu, I don't know how you are. Your mindset is different. You're one of those that grew up around that is looking that you start something and you finish. You're
Mhm.
so it's like I can't even keep up. Like
Mhm.
and that it comes from a place of disciplining
Mhm.
myself, right? A lot of us, especially with everything that's going, there's a lot of distraction
Mhm.
around us. A
Mhm.
lot of click here, look here, look here, look here. Even myself, I fall prey to distraction sometimes. But one thing I know is if I go to do something, I got to do it, right? We need to, how you can build resilience and all this stuff. I even talked about exercise, how exercising your body. A lot, we think that exercise is just to go lose and wear a size 2 jeans and or size 4 jeans. How your overall health is important.
Yeah.
So this is book is it's like a manual. It's something that you keep it in your back.
Yes.
It's not even something that it should be in your back. I have my own already has dog ears because sometimes I have to go back to revisit. Okay, I just open to this page on page 34 if you have it there. On page 34, I just coincidentally opened up and it got to this page. And
Mm-hmm.
it's something I want to talk about. Limiting boundaries of personal growth, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us, we don't even know, but we operate in a limiting beliefs, in limiting beliefs. What are limiting beliefs? Let me take, for example, you know how we grew up and we're hearing a woman's place in the kitchen, a woman's place in the kitchen. Those are limiting beliefs. Yes, it was said like that. It doesn't mean that the woman, but those are things that our
They play in your
mothers
subconscious.
in your subconscious, and you
Yeah.
think, oh, my house has to be, the food has to be here, so this time, this time, this time, and we forget ourselves because you grew up, your mother, you heard your mother say a woman's place in the kitchen, your grandmother a woman's place in the kitchen, Lulu a woman's place in the kitchen, and if I keep saying a woman's place in the kitchen, my daughter will start saying a woman's place in the kitchen, and when a woman's place, it takes prime, it takes first place, and then all other thing now goes, you begin to shift everything. Now you know, yes, a woman's place in the kitchen, we're supposed to cook for our families, we're supposed to
Mm-hmm.
help our families, we're supposed to nurture our families, raise our families. But Esther, look at that Proverbs 31 woman. She did everything. She had raised cattle, she raised a home, she ran a business, she was a seamstress, she was this, she was this. She didn't just sit down and say woman's place in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm. And
right?
we're not telling women to go out and start disrespecting their husbands
No, I am not
and not
doing
do
that.
that's not what we're saying here. We're saying that you can do that and more. You can still
More.
be that professional. I worked today. I got home before I got here. I still cooked something real quick, made sure there was food in my house before I came to the studio. That
Right.
way you're not doing what you're doing and then you get home and somebody's frowning at you. They don't want to talk to you.
Exactly.
So you
Exactly.
still do what you need to do. You can do it all. You can be a professional, but you can also be a good wife, be a good
Yes.
mother, be a good daughter, be a good friend. You know, you can do all of those
Yes.
things, but still
Yes.
find your purpose.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. I'm glad you said that because nobody say Lulu is it what's it called?
Feminist or
Feminist. Yeah,
women's
actually somebody
emancipation.
said that. Somebody used that with me I think it was the end of last year, and she was like, I'm like, no, I'm not.
No.
I'm not a feminist. I've never been, never will be. I believe we have to do what we're called to do, but we still, your first ministry is your family. Your first ministry, whoever God is giving you, your spouse, that's where, if you don't succeed there, then whatever thing you're doing out doesn't make no sense. So, no matter what I'm saying, even if your passion, your purpose is still connected, very connected to the way you show up for your family, the way you show up for your spouse, the way you show up in your home. So it's still, you cannot separate that because if the home is not healthy, whatever thing you're doing is still going to be in shadows.
Yeah.
So the home has to be healthy.
And
And that,
everybody's purpose cannot be the same because your
no,
purpose might be this writing books,
yes,
empowering women. Somebody else's purpose is something else. So, because some
yes,
people want to, it's like, I need to copy what this person is doing, or what it becomes a trend. Like, if this person's doing this, I need to do that. That's not what you don't need to be. You can
no,
be your own person, find your own passion, and turn it into your purpose, and
yes,
still make the community stronger as long as
yes,
we're relating to each other. We're not, trying to be an island. You still, because we're all about empowering this community to be stronger. All the skills that people have, because we have a rich, rich community.
very
Yes.
very rich, sis. We have a power. We know how to plug into our community, into our resources, into our own power. I'm telling you, our community is rich. We have very educated, very well researched, very sound, eloquent group of people.
Mhm.
And I'm telling you, if we can network correctly, if we know how to network correctly and support
Mhm.
people correctly, I'm telling you, we're unstoppable.
Yeah. So how can people get this book?
You can get it from Amazon. It's on Amazon. If you go there and type Breakforth by Lutherlyn Fosah, you will get it. It's on Barnes and Nobles. You can get it from there. If you want a copy from me to ship it to you, you want it signed, I can still do that and send it over to you.
Yeah, and those who don't know her personally, you can reach out to me too through me.
Yes.
I can make sure you get a copy as well. So what's next after this book? Because you cannot just write one book.
What is
We'll
next?
start feeling pressure for more books.
I know, right? I'm already thinking. I'm sure there's book two that will probably I'll start writing soon because I already have that. Um, the truth is, when I was writing, this was not what I was planning. But if I ever planned to write a book, this would not have been what I would write. But the way God works, He works in mysterious ways. He this is the perfect book for me to have ever written as a first book because
Mm,
it is what He's called me to do, to empower women. That's my purpose, that's my passion.
mhm,
So that's why it's very important to listen to the one above and
mhm.
for direction. But I don't know what is next right now, to tell you
So
the
stay
truth.
tuned. We should stay tuned. Huh?
Yeah, whatever is next is still turned around. It's all around this. Oh, I'm planning for a women's conference coming up. I hope you can come down to Abilene. It's 2.5 hours away. That will
What are the
be
dates? What are the
June
dates?
1st. June
June
1st.
1st. Okay, I'll
June
put it on
1st.
the calendar.
Yes,
Yeah.
a Breakforth Women's Conference and slash book launch.
Okay.
Um, that is what I am slowly working to. Links for tickets will be out and all that good stuff. Just wanting women to come together, network,
Mm,
and support one another and just learn from one another. So we're going to have vendors and then have speakers and
mhm.
trying to find women DJ. Just want it to be
Oh
all
wow.
centered around women and
So
just
no
have
men,
fun.
no men.
No, well, the men can bring us flowers if
They
they
can
want
bring us
to.
flowers, okay,
Yes,
and
and they can
breakfast
pay. They can send us paid. They can send us checks and
checks. They just
sell the
want their
tickets.
money.
Yes.
That's funny. All right. So how the Bible passages in the book? That was one question that I wanted to ask you. How did you pick your Bible passages?
A lot of those Bible passages, when you write, right? When you start writing something and the Lord is like, oh, this is where this is coming from. This book, most of this book is very inspirational because when I was writing, I'm like, oh, okay, it resonates with this story. These are examples. And one more than for me to get my inspiration, if not from the Bible. I
Mhm.
always tell people that the Bible is a manual. It's a manual for everything. If you want to learn about leadership, it's there. If you want to learn about finance, is there. If you want to learn about saving, is there. If you want to learn about being a wife, is there. Being a good man is there. Is everything. The Bible is an inspirational book. So when I wrote, especially some of it came during the editing because I had like wrong passage in some. Then during the editing, we'll be like, oh, this is the exact passage, or
Mhm.
this passage ties better with this one, and that's how we just worked from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how was the support? I know you have the support from your family. Your husband is awesome. Um, how was it during the writing? How did they support you? How did they give you that space? Because you need space to write, right?
Yeah. One thing about my, I'm thankful for the man that God has given me. He's very supportive, and he never questions what I'm doing. He just trusts in that I seek the Lord. And sometimes I told him when I was writing, when I was almost done.
Oh wow.
Yes, because I did not want any. I wanted. I didn't want. Not that he was not going. He was going. Because I just wanted things to come out organically, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I was hiding, but His job, first of all, right? Sometimes he comes
Yeah,
late
he's tired.
and he's tired. And
Mhm.
one thing, I love coffee shops. That's one place. Even when I was in nursing school, I'll sit there. So I'll be done with work. I will sneak into a coffee shop maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour before I go pick up my kids. And that's when I will,
Mm.
just put some stuff down and stuff like that. And the kids, I mean, I always the kids gave me space because when I'm writing, they're in school, right?
Yeah.
Or they're sleeping, or So writing for me was really there was not a premeditation to it. It
Mhm.
was more like when I could, okay, when I
Mm.
could, I wrote. When I could, if it's a paragraph, and that's one thing.
So not
I
under pressure.
Yes, and one
Mm.
thing I have some ladies, some new authors. I always call myself the guinea pig in, for this. That God sent me ahead so that other women can be blessed. I can use my mistakes or my corrections and better off other people. And right now, I have like two women I'm coaching. They want to write books because they saw me put out this book. They're like, I've been wanting to write. So
Mhm.
now, so, and one of the things I tell them is you don't, you don't need to sit and say, oh, I'll write for 2 hours. Well, that's not me because especially with everything we have around, if you have time, yes,
Mhm.
the 2 hours you have might not be the time that you're inspired to write.
Yeah.
And if you want to write organically, you want to be inspired. It might be, that's why I say always have your journal, always have that thing, because it might be during break when you're sitting and having your lunch, that's when that thing, it might come in, the
Mhm.
words, everything. You never know. Yes, you can set time to write, but whenever you feel like writing, just write.
Yeah, just be a free spirit, I guess.
Because what if
Mhm.
in a month you don't have that 2 hours? But you might have 30 minutes during your lunch break or
Mhm.
5 minutes before break, before bedtime or something, and you'll feel inspired. So um, don't always think that. And that's the thing that leads to procrastination.
Mhm.
And procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you another chance,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Use what you have.
Mhm.
Use what you The mistake we make is that we always think that there is a better time. There is no better time. Do you
Mhm.
know the better time that you and I have right now?
Mm.
Is,
Yes,
is
now.
this mini?
Yep.
This mini we're
Yep.
sharing is a better
Yep.
time. After this, I don't know how 6 p.m. today will look like.
Yes.
I know I have
Mhm.
church planned. The kids have church. I have to take them. That's what I know. But what I don't know is what God has planned.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
right now, as I sit with you, the 1 hour I sit with you, I give
Mhm.
my best because that is what I have.
Mhm. That's
So
amazing.
make use of the time we have. Make use of the time you have because you don't know.
Yeah.
That's why we keep putting projects next year. By the time if by time by the time we close our eyes, we'll be having there'll be Christmas trees all around,
I know.
and 2024 will be gone. 2024 will be gone. So we
Yep.
cannot keep procrastinating, thinking, oh, I have time to this. That vision you have
Mhm.
about the youth center,
Mhm.
maybe yes, maybe you don't have all the resources, but it's time to start looking at what can I do?
Mhm.
Who do I need to? Who needs to be in the board? Have I registered the business or the name of it? Have I found a name? Because I'm telling you, if you wait and think that you have to have a building before you start
Mhm.
rolling,
The
then
name is there. The name is there. I just need a building.
awesome,
So
awesome.
so donors start.
Yeah.
We
So
need a
maybe you start
land.
looking
We
for a
need land
church.
somewhere.
And you might be start looking for a church, start looking for
Mhm.
a community building where they don't use it for a certain number of days and start,
Mhm.
you know, and talking to them. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
we keep a lot of things thinking that we need to have all
Yeah.
the money and
Yeah.
all the
No.
time, all the people. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Wow. This has been an amazing conversation.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I really appreciate you spending this hour with us and just pouring your soul, being transparent with us, just sharing, genuinely, no filters, no layers, just your bare soul. I know we can continue this conversation till tomorrow, but
Oh
I know
yeah.
people have to run and do things. So,
All right.
any final words? Anything I didn't ask that you were burning to share? Just give our audience a final thought. Shout out to the community. Anything that we need to know.
So, let me say, I want to first of all thank everybody that has been very supportive of me, in my journey in becoming who I'm becoming, or spoken words of wisdom, or encouragement, or prayers to me. That I don't take it for granted. I am very, very grateful for that. And thank you for your support, for your kindness, for your love. Words of wisdom, if I would say is to anyone that looks up to me or thinks me or have me in mind or thinks or anything that I can share anything, I'll say this. You were born a genius. You have the DNA, the genetic composition, proper, perfect, that God put inside of you. And Jeremiah says that before you were born, he knew you by name. Some of you might be going through hardship right now. You might not know where your next meal is going to come from. You might not know whether your son is going to leave or your mom or whoever. You might be dealing with marital issues, whatever it is. Know that there is a God that sees you. He's called Elroy. I pray that whatever thing you're going through, whatever hardship, whatever struggle, do not give up. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. Everyone has their own story, and your story is very unique to you. And own up to your story. Do not hide behind your story. When you own up to your story, you take power, and no one else can narrate the story. No one can narrate your story better than you. Whatever thing that the Lord has put inside of you that you have been keeping it to the side, you've been waiting for the perfect time. Also, the perfect time is now. Start doing little by little by little. By the time you know it, at the end of 2024, you've gone a mile or
Mhm.
or a step or whatever. And do not compare your journey with anyone else's
Mhm.
journey. Our journeys are all different. I have 5 fingers, none of them is the same because that's how God made each and every one of us. So own up to your journey, show up for yourself. We make a mistake when we don't show up for ourselves. We think it's for someone. You're not showing up for you. Show up for yourself. What do I mean by showing up for yourself? Are you supposed to be reading that book? Are you supposed to be in prayer meeting? Are you supposed to be in the classroom? Are you supposed to be taking a course? Are you supposed to be signing up for events? Show up for yourself. Whatever thing you know you're supposed to be doing, do it. And align yourself with people that will find you, that can lift you, that can speak life into you. Don't sit with people just for the comfort of sitting. There's some people that you know you're supposed to let go this 2024,
Mhm.
and they're still in your circle. And you know that because you're in that circle, you're not able to grow. It's time for you to let them. And it's time to start bringing people that will speak life into you, that will correct you with
Mhm.
love. Sometimes we're scared of people because we're scared that because we don't want to hear truth.
Mhm.
Truth is part of growth. If you don't want truth, you don't want to grow.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. So I'll say those things and remember, you are unique. There is no one like you. So those would be my final
Wow.
things to say. I don't know.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lulu. It was a blessing to have you today. You've said it all. I mean, those words are powerful. I hope people are listening. Try to get one of her books. Get more than one copy. Give somebody with it. It's not that expensive. You know, support her. We have to support each other when we have a venture like this or project. But don't want to water down her final words here. But until next time, guys. Thank you for watching the Saaghe Fogwe
Thank you.
podcast.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.